Tonight, wildfires raging out of control. These fast-moving flames ravaging France and Spain. Tens of thousands forced to flee.
I'm Anna Corrin in London. Authorities in Europe are warning of complex hours ahead as fire crews struggle to contain the infernos.
Also tonight, summer scorcher. Another heat dome threatens 128 million people.
I'm meteorologist Andrew Kozak. It's the planet's strongest heat dome yet, set to tower over the Rockies and the plains. New details tonight on how hot it will get.
New pressure on the cost of living.
I'm Olivia Gazis at the White House. Surging oil prices, expanding tariffs. New reporting on how Americans are feeling the impact of President Trump's policies.
Mixed messaging, the latest on the cyclosporiasis outbreak.
Under control or getting worse. I'm Allie Bauman in New York. How consumers are dealing with the outbreak as it expands to more states.
Unprecedented swim.
I'm Kenny Choi in San Francisco, where Catherine Breed is swimming the entire 900-mile California coast. Why she's doing it, assuming sharks don't interfere.
And later, saving the belugas. Nearly 30 of them flying from Canada to aquariums in the U.S. What prompted the international rescue effort?
Who would ever think that you've gotten a chance to fly with a whale?
This is the CBS Weekend News from New York with Jerika Duncan.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us this Saturday. Tonight, a state of emergency in Western Europe. What's described as apocalyptic fires have forced nearly 300,000 to flee their homes. France and Spain torched, as you see there, the flames fueled by extreme heat and strong winds, with fire crews this weekend struggling to bring the flames under control. CBS's Anna Corrin of our London bureau leads us off tonight with the latest. Anna.
Good evening, Jerika. Wildfires are burning out of control in both France and Spain in what authorities have described as unprecedented conditions. Strong winds are stoking multiple fire fronts, now threatening major cities, with up to 300,000 people evacuated from their homes. Moving at frightening speed, fire leapt across the pine forest in southwestern France, igniting a wall of flames. Desperate firefighters using whatever means necessary to battle the wildfires, now less than 20 miles from the wine country city of Bordeaux. In an attempt to slow it down, a massive cargo aircraft dumping flame retardant has joined the effort, along with the military. Soldiers and firefighters battling Mother Nature side by side. French authorities ordered the evacuation of nearly 200,000 people, including everyone from the popular tourist destination of Cap Ferret on the Atlantic coast. I'm scared, that's it, I'm scared, exclaims this woman. Yesterday, when I left my house, I was afraid I wouldn't find it again. Others defied evacuation orders, choosing to stay and fight. It makes you want to cry. Honestly, it's horrible, says this resident. We no longer recognise our land at all. The fire, which started earlier this week, has reached an unprecedented strength. The French Interior Minister has described the battle ahead as long and very difficult. In neighbouring Spain, homes on the outskirts of Madrid went up in flames. In the country's capital, in the nearby province of Avila, fires prompted the evacuation of nearly 70,000 people. For the first time, the government declared a national emergency as two huge blazes merged. Officials say a third fire is on the verge of joining them. Unfortunately for Spain and France, there is little relief in sight. Scorching temperatures are expected next week, and it's feared the strong winds that have fueled these fires will remain. Jerika.
Yeah, so dangerous. Anna Corrin, thank you. Tonight, a new heat dome is threatening to intensify the wildfire threat right here in this country. At least 88 large fires are burning nationwide, most of them in the West. Over 23,000 people are helping to fight those flames. The Washington state and Oregon areas are among the hardest hit. So far, nearly 42,000 fires have scorched more than 4 million acres across the country. And in Colorado, a fourth firefighter died after battling flames. His name, Nathan Matthews of Lincoln, Nebraska. For more on all of this, let's check in with CBS News meteorologist Andrew Kozak in Philadelphia. Andrew.
Yeah, good evening, Jerika. More on that wildfire smoke and how it may affect parts of the east in the upcoming week. But tonight, the top story is going to be the most powerful heat dome on the planet sitting right across the plains and the Rockies. And the most powerful part of this is going to affect all of these areas tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday especially. So what is a heat dome? It's air that sinks and compresses under this area of high pressure. The hot air, well, it gets trapped, kind of like a lid on a boiling pot. And that heat builds day after day after day and gets more and more intense. In fact, let's talk a little bit about some of these numbers. Places like Wichita, Kansas, getting as hot as 106 early this week. And come with me to the West Coast because, yes, we know that the desert Southwest gets hot, but how about 120 degrees in Palm Springs, California? That is going to rival the all-time high of 124. And then finally tonight, it's that wildfire smoke. We've been tracking all of those fires in Oregon. The jet stream carries it up and around that heat dome. And Jerika, we may be looking at some foggy and smoggy and smoky conditions across the Great Lakes and the East later this upcoming week.
All right, Andrew Kozak in Philadelphia, thank you. Tonight, new concerns about the cost of living. Gas prices jumped this week as the war in Iran escalates. Right now, a gallon of regular averages $4.11 nationwide. That's up 12 cents from last week. Gas prices are highest in California, lowest in Arkansas. Americans are also experiencing the biggest jump in grocery prices in a half a century, up 33% since 2019. CBS's Olivia Gazis is at the White House tonight with more on these rising prices and the president's priorities. Olivia.
Good evening, Jerika. The escalating war in Iran threatens even higher energy costs as many Americans are already struggling with affordability.
I'm getting shafted at the pump. That's how I feel.
Oil prices surged above $100 a barrel this week after 13 straight days of U.S. strikes in Iran. Last night brought the first lull in bombing as the president apparently weighs what's next.
We're locked and loaded and ready to go, but we're talking to them, so I think while we're talking, we'll see what comes of it.
The president did fire new shots in his global trade war, this week imposing new tariffs targeting at least 60 trading partners after the Supreme Court struck down his previous actions.
It hurts the population in the United States, hurts the population in Canada and in Ontario. This does not work.
Canada, the U.S.'s second largest trading partner, among the hardest hit. It now faces a 50% tariff on a wide array of exports. Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, says Canada won't be intimidated.
We'll not back down and we'll negotiate from a position of strength.
The acrimony now so acute, Canada alone celebrated the long-awaited opening of a massive bridge connecting Michigan and Ontario that is also the busiest commercial crossing between the two countries. President Trump demanding a new revenue-sharing deal on social media, and today posting this image of an air filter between the two countries after threatening Canada with more tariff pain for wildfire smoke drifting into the U.S.
I've told Canada they have to do something about it. You know, we've never had this problem. All of a sudden we have this problem with Canada.
Under the current law, the estimated household costs due to tariffs are at about $1,100 a year, according to the Yale University Budget Lab. Jerika, that's before the administration's expected announcements of even more tariffs in the coming weeks.
Olivia Gazis at the White House. Thank you. Today, Democrats in Maine picked a new candidate to face Republican Susan Collins in November in a race that could determine control of the U.S. Senate. He's Troy Jackson, a logger who's one of the state's leading progressives. Jackson has called for universal health care and for abolishing ICE. He replaces Graham Plattner, who ended his Senate bid after being accused of rape, an accusation he denies. Now to that cyclospora outbreak linked to iceberg lettuce. The CDC says the outbreak has expanded to 4 more states and sickened thousands. And in the weeks following the initial report, some consumers are expressing confusion about what is safe and what is not. CBS's Allie Bauman is in New York with what you need to know. Allie.
Jerika, Illinois, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Pennsylvania now join 5 other states linked to contaminated lettuce that has sickened thousands. The expansion comes days after federal health officials said the outbreak is under control.
And we've identified the source of the outbreak.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. tried to calm concerns of the cyclospora outbreak.
Is anyone else, deathly afraid to eat lettuce right now.
But some Americans aren't convinced. Social media users calling it Lettucegate. Federal health officials announced the cyclospora outbreak linked to iceberg lettuce served at Taco Bell locations has now spread to 4 new states. Nearly 2,000 people have gotten sick. Health officials believe the affected iceberg lettuce came from a Taylor Farms facility in central Mexico. The supplier says it has suspended production of all its products in that region. The Mexican government rules out any contamination, claiming its test found no evidence of the parasite at Taylor Farms.
I don't think we can say that this is under control yet.
Health officials suspect multiple outbreaks across 41 states with more than 11,000 reported and confirmed cases. There's no sign of slowing, as symptoms can take up to 2 weeks to start.
Even if this lettuce was implicated, it doesn't mean that other produce is not implicated as well.
Data suggests Taco Bell saw about a 30% drop in foot traffic after health officials identified the chain as part of this outbreak. Jerika, Taco Bell says it has removed affected lettuce from its restaurants.
Yeah, very serious outbreak. Allie Bauman, thank you. Tonight, a California woman is doing something unprecedented, swimming the entire length of the state's coast, which is over 900 miles. CBS's Kenny Choi in San Francisco is here with more on this potentially history-making feat. Kenny.
Good evening, Jerika. This is an athletic feat unlike any other. And tonight, the ultra-distance swimmer is many miles closer to the finish line, but there's still a long and challenging journey ahead.
Catherine Breed jumped into the Pacific Ocean at the Oregon-California border on July 1st with the goal of reaching Mexico before November.
We just crossed 200 miles swam. Today we were in this really amazing current moving us southbound, and I was visited by a pod of about 30 dolphins.
But these magical moments have been interlaced with extreme struggle.
And I was literally swimming up these waves and then going down them and just swallowing so much water.
Every day, Breed chips away at the historic goal. She's also working towards a cause to protect the ocean.
It really is important we protect it so everyone can enjoy the same water that I'm getting to enjoy right now.
Along her route, Breed will make stops to raise awareness of what's plaguing the ocean.
Since 2014, we have seen a tremendous loss of bull kelp along the California coast. At the peak, we had lost 97% of the kelp forest.
Maria Brown manages restoration of a threatened kelp forest, a vital part of the underwater ecosystem. One stroke at a time, she gets closer on her quest for cleaner waters.
I think the ocean is supporting me in this journey is what it feels like.
Now, Breed has survived the coldest part of the swim, but soon she'll navigate some of the most iconic and rugged parts of the coast, not to mention shark-infested waters. Jerika?
Yeah, we are wishing her the best, and beautiful background behind you, Kenny. Thank you. Straight ahead on the CBS Weekend News, why President Trump ordered warning signs outside a Smithsonian museum. But first, this story.
A family of 3 makes a decision to self-deport back to Ecuador. We're with them at the airport as they leave Minnesota with hopes of coming back.
Newly released government data shows U.S. immigration agents arrested a record number of undocumented immigrants last month, more than 43,000 people. Some, though, are seeking to leave this country voluntarily. CBS's Jennifer Mayerly in Minneapolis has one family story.
It was an early start for Jorge Angamarca and his family. He said they're getting ready to go to the airport. They're taking their clothes, their belongings. The family left for Minneapolis-St. Paul International for a flight they said they did not want to take. They felt it was the right thing to do for their future. Jorge Blanca and their daughter Amy let us know they came to the U.S. from Ecuador seeking asylum. They told CBS Minnesota they were farmers being extorted for money, with threats of kidnapping their daughter if they did not pay. Their case was going through the immigration process when they made the decision to return to Ecuador after living in Minnesota for 3 years.
I will miss this place, the country, the people, so many things.
Amy is a middle schooler. She understands why they are leaving.
It's about immigration and that kind of things.
For her, the move is tough.
I don't know how I will be in Ecuador, if I will be safe.
Jorge worked as a custodian at an elementary school in suburban Minneapolis. Blanca at a different elementary school. She told me they are hardworking people who built a home here. At school, they're leaving behind colleagues, bosses, and school kids who loved them dearly. She said the U.S. is a country that opens its doors to people who like to work and to do things right.
And to see these people having to leave is just ridiculous. They're not criminals.
Homeland Security allows for voluntary self-departure. People can receive cost-free travel along with a $2,600 exit bonus. According to DHS in 2025, 2.2 million people left and more than 100,000 used the government's app to voluntarily depart. The couple said they declined the offer. He said they did not accept it because they want to return. They don't want to be a burden. Instead, they want to contribute. The family left Minnesota, a place they call their second home. They said they will fight to return the right way. Jennifer Merrily, CBS News, Minneapolis.
Still ahead on the CBS Weekend News, a massive SpaceX rocket makes a soft splashdown. Why it mattered, next. Tonight, no sign yet of President Trump's latest executive order. On Friday, he directed federal officials to install signs outside of the Smithsonian's flagship National Museum of American History, warning that some of the exhibits inside are, quote, inaccurate. The president has accused the Smithsonian of, quote, anti-Americanism. 13 was a lucky number for SpaceX. That's how many test flights the massive Starship rocket has flown. And last night, its best re-entry yet with a splashdown so soft it floated in the Indian Ocean. It was SpaceX's first flight as a publicly traded company. Well, an amazing rescue near the north rim of the Grand Canyon National Park. An 83-year-old Utah man was found safe 2 days after he went missing on what was supposed to be a brief hike with a companion. The pair got separated, prompting the massive search in rugged terrain, but luckily he's okay. Next on the CBS Weekend News, one of the largest whale rescue operations ever. But first, a look back at this day in history.
It is the first known baby conceived outside its mother's womb. It has also sparked controversy that is almost eclipsing its merits as a major medical breakthrough.
Another case of AIDS has been confirmed, affecting the most well-known victim yet.
Mr. Rock Hudson has acquired immune deficiency syndrome.
We end tonight with an international rescue. In our weekend journal, CBS's Jared Ochacher in San Antonio, Texas, reports on a massive effort to save 30 beluga whales once at risk of being euthanized.
Frank and Bertie Botts flew more than 1,500 miles from Canada to their new home in Texas. The two inseparable Arctic whales are among the first of 28 belugas set to be relocated to aquariums across the U.S. through an international emergency rescue effort.
I can't help but get just a big giant smile speaking about them.
Moving the more than 1,000-pound belugas was a massive undertaking. SeaWorld's Steve Abel accompanied them.
We'll put them into a cradle. We'll lift them up with a crane because they're big and they're heavy. You'll put them into their box, which then goes rolling onto a truck. The truck takes you to the airport. You then roll up onto the plane. You secure them in the aircraft and you are airbound. Who would ever think that you've gotten a chance to fly with a whale?
The whale's complex journey marks the end of a controversial saga. Their previous home, Marineland in Niagara Falls, closed in 2024 amid allegations of animal mistreatment. Running low on money to care for the whales, there were fears they would be euthanized. But no more. U.S. and Canadian officials secured the mammals' new homes, including in SeaWorld San Antonio. Now these whales are settling into a 2 million-gallon saltwater pool and joining 8 other whales that already live here.
It's a magical soaring experience. You know the team that they're coming in to work with. You know the situation of a park that's no longer going to be able to take care of them, and you know you're a part of the solution.
Another 11 belugas are expected to arrive in San Antonio, the remainder to aquariums in Atlanta and Chicago. Abel says the whales' lives will be drastically different in their new environment.
They're going to just have a much more dynamic and exciting environment here. Not because Marineland was doing anything wrong or bad, but just strictly because Marineland had stopped functioning as a working theme park, and we are not.
An unprecedented rescue, just in time. Jared Ochacher, CBS News, San Antonio.
Nice. Those are some interesting looking whales, though, right? Well, that is the CBS Weekend News this Saturday. I'm Jerika Duncan in New York. We thank you for watching. Have a great night. We hope to see you back here tomorrow.